We can have the Vespers, the Malevolent, and this presentation to kind of report back to the parish on some of the things we found with this stewardship survey that the parish undertook the last couple of weeks. I want to take the time to thank Kelly and her whole team that worked really hard to kind of compile these things and do all the kind of, she'll talk more about it, some amazing things we're going to be doing in the coming weeks and months to kind of remind us as a parish what we're doing in this whole project. And I'm thankful as a priest that everything doesn't fall on my shoulders, that I have able and capable people that said, Father, we can do this. And so, okay, go do it. And they do an amazing job. So thank you for your work and for putting this together and for presenting it tonight.
All right. Thank you. Welcome. There's a lot of you. That's exciting. We are recording this for YouTube. We did 2 other presentations already that GPS asked to happen. The one was the history of the parish that Father Tim gave, and then one that Josh gave on the new building project and kind of the layout and design of that building. So if you have not watched those 2 presentations, please make a point to go and watch those because it does kind of give you the rundown of how we got to where we are today. Also, if you have any questions as I go, please go ahead and raise your hand. I think it'll be easier to address them as I go than to try to go backwards. So, that being said, welcome to the Growing Parish Stewardship Committee Pathways to the Future presentation. How our committee kind of started, we began to notice that the church was getting a little bit full. Some of you might have noticed that. So we started some parish phase 2 building meetings. This, as you all should know at this point, is phase 1, this building is, and phase 2 was always in the plan to complete. So at that point, we established a finance committee and a building committee. The building committee unveiled the new church building design at the 2024 dinner dance. And then the finance committee recommended that there would be a parish stewardship survey that should take place. And then at that point, we started a Growing Parish Stewardship Committee to help with that survey, but then also start to increase parish stewardship. And this was just formed about 2 months ago, the end of April. So who are we? Our current membership is listed. I will say that a number of those people were people who walked up to the initial few members and said, hey, we're really interested in this, so we have continued as a committee to grow. Pretty much at least every 2 weeks we add some members. However, I do want to stress that the Growing Parish Stewardship Committee is actually the entire parish. All of you are part of being stewards for Holy Apostles. All of you are part of this group, and we really want to represent all of you. So we ask you at any point, if you have suggestions, you have an idea for furthering stewardship in our parish, to please speak to one of us or join the committee and help us out. As Father said during Holy Week, he said no one has to do it all, but everyone can do something within regards to services. The same thing is true with stewardship. No one has to do all of it, but within everyone can do something to help further stewardship in our parish. So I wanted to start by thanking you for everything that you have already done. We started by asking you for a t-shirt contest, and you did help us out with that. So we received 6 designs, so drum roll please. Our winner is Steve Sack. And I will apologize, we are missing the words Holy Apostles on this design, so me getting it from him to put on here, we missed that part. So it will say Holy Apostles, Orthodox Church, Mechanicsburg, PA, but here is the design. The image on the right would be a small pocket-sized design, and then on the back would be the Help Us Grow with the full future church design. This is black and white, but we are looking to be able, we initially thought t-shirts and we wanted to have pre-sales happening today, but then we realized that there's so many more things that we could do with this, and we wanted to make sure we could offer everything that we possibly could. So this is coming, hopefully in the next month and a half. You will see some more information on how to order t-shirts, maybe magnets, stickers, all of the fun things that you can imagine. We also asked you to complete a stewardship survey. So I do have the data analysis from that I wanted to share. So the goals of the survey, we wanted to identify the most important aspects of Holy Apostles Orthodox Church to our community. We wanted to determine an idea of the parish's understanding of the building project, gauge the parish's priorities in terms of the building project, understand ideas that concern or excite our community about the building project, and then determine the amount of stewardship support to be expected from our community. Participation in this survey, we had 70 participants that filled out the survey. We did ask you on question 10 if you did complete one. That was one where we asked you about increased donations or giving in the next year, and we asked that only one person per household complete that question. So we had 50 people complete that question, which tells us that we had 50 tithing units or 50 families complete it, but 70 individuals complete the survey. The under 18 was the small blue section, so they were the least represented, but that does make sense. And then the 18 to 25 is the orange, the green is the 26 to 40-year-olds, the 41 to 64-year-olds is the larger blue section, and then 65 plus is the purple section. Yes?
When you're using the tithing there, are you using it as 10% or just as a contributor?
The question was asked at 10%. Which I will get into, so we do have data on that. So we did ask years of orthodoxy, and I do want to stress, whenever we went over and looked at this survey, we always took one and two questions at a time to look at. We never sat and looked through the whole survey. Our goal was not to figure out who you were and who said what. Our goal was to kind of link the data and see overall how everybody was feeling about things. So years of being Orthodox, it was exciting to see that there is a rebirth of Orthodoxy or an influx of Orthodox. We have a lot of zero people who have been Orthodox for less than 4 years, but then it was also fun to see that we have people who have been Orthodox for over 50 years, so a nice range within our parish. We also looked at years attending Holy Apostles Orthodox Church. As you can see, again, we have a number of people who have been here for less than 4 years, but then it was exciting to see that we still have a number of those members who were founding members, so that have been here over 20 years. So we have a nice range of people who completed the survey. So what are some important aspects to our parish? So this is the question that we asked was, what are people's favorite things about the parish? Why did they come, and why do you remain here? So the word community was used 35 times. Our parish being a family was stated 17 times. The people of the parish were referenced 16 times. Fellowship was discussed 13 times, and being home was stated 5 times. So there's definitely that community feel, which I'm sure none of you are surprised to hear, but it is working, and thank you again to all of you, because I feel like that is a sense of stewardship to be able to reach out and make people feel welcome. Father Timothy, or the priest, was referenced 21 times, worship came up 12 times, and choir was voiced 5 times. And then some specific quotes that people said, and I just had to share. Unmatched friendliness, the love of Christ is very much present, beautiful choir and services, loving community, willingness to help each other, support for one another. Father Tim is very committed to serving God with excellence, truly welcoming and kind, the amount of new catechumen and youth, the prayerful, beautiful, and joyful worship, and I can feel the Christ-focused atmosphere. So we also asked, what's your understanding of the building project? And we wanted to get an idea of how people felt about this. Obviously, the under 18-year-olds, so we went from a 0 to 10. 0 is having no understanding of the project, and 10 is that you feel like you have full understanding. And these are averages of each of those age ranges. So the under 18-year-olds felt that they were averaging about a 5 of understanding, which does make sense for that age range. They're probably involved at less meetings, not attending parish council meetings or reading those minutes. But everybody else felt fairly strongly that they were a 7 or above, well, that they averaged out at about a 7 or above understanding of the project, which was exciting that people seemed to be understanding where we're going. We then asked about priorities in the parish, and this was short-term goal of the short-term goal. What did you feel was most important? So it was classroom space, fellowship space, parking spaces, paying off the mortgage, or worship space. And when we put all ages together, worship space came out top, that was the top priority for people, followed by fellowship and then mortgage. We then split that up between ages, and we did this just to see if there was any drastic differences, especially with the under 18-year-olds who felt like they didn't have as much of a handle on the project. And you will notice the under 18-year-olds felt strongly about worship space, but their classroom space, which is the dark blue, did jump up, that they felt more strongly about that, which also made sense because they are the ones that are crammed in the classrooms and realize that there is a space issue within those classrooms. They also felt less strongly about the mortgage, which made sense for having less of an understanding about the project. Everybody else across the board, worship tended to come out pretty close to the highest, followed by fellowship or mortgage being the top priorities of the parish, and parking and classroom space being the lower priorities. So we asked people specifically what excites the parish about the new building. And this was really interesting. So obviously space came up. So the words more space were uttered 43 times, plus variations of this, one word spacious, and then more room was 11 times brought up. So obviously everybody's feeling that crunch, that we are a little bit crowded. But the thing that came up then is people talked about the excitement for the beauty of the new church. So that was talked about 6 times. Icons covering the church was spoken about 6 times. Excitement for a dome was mentioned 3 times. So I dove into that a little more. These are quotes of what people said, mentioned being enthusiastic for. So the real church, a church building, regular church, full church architecture, a church, a true physical place of worship, dedicated worship space, actual church building, our final home. So whenever people were mentioning worship as their priority, it was not just mentioning rearranging what we have and making more space for us to fit in this part, but it was actually an excitement and priority for having a true new church building. So of course we had to ask concerns about the building, and again, this one should not shock anyone. It was frequently mentioned topic was cost, which $6 million seems daunting, and we will jump in a little bit into how the GPS committee feels that we can maybe tackle this and make it a little bit more manageable. This was mentioned in the words cost, affordability, money, pain, finances, monetary debt, affordability, funding, price, expensive mortgage, all of those combined. Most people had some type of concern with the cost of the new building. A few other concerns just mentioning because they came up a couple times. There were maintenance concerns, that was mentioned 4 times. Parking concerns once construction starts, mentioned 4 times. Timeline concerns, cliques forming or losing that close-knit feeling, or arguments about during the building project that could cause losing of that close-knit feeling. That was 3 times. There were concerns that the building was too big. That was mentioned 3 times. Mainly in the fact that they referenced too much non-church space, so too many classrooms and bathrooms. I will throw a note there for someone who has a child that does have to use the bathroom mid-service during liturgy. There were 16 people in the women's bathroom this past Sunday when I went in, and there was a line 3 deep for the changing table. So women's bathroom might need a little more space. But there were also concerns that the building was too small. That was mentioned 5 times. Specifically, a need for a larger kitchen, a reliquary, a library, and bookstore were things that were mentioned. And no, that was not Father Tim. Not that I know, but he has said it is not. So we asked people about tithing. And again, we separated this out by age ranges, and it is by percents. So under 18, I'll start with them, and the 18 through 25-year-olds, where about 50% of them said that they were tithing. Those who were not tithing, it was primarily because they are not working entities at this point. The 18 through 25-year-olds referenced, no, I'm not tithing, I'm a college student, I have college expenses. When you jump to the older age ranges, 75% of those people did say that they were tithing, and tithing was the 10%. Those that said that they were not tithing at this point, the encouraging part was they seemed to understand that they should be, that it is our God's calling to be tithing that 10%, and a number of them said they are working towards that. So they are slowly inching up towards doing that, which I felt was encouraging. Besides tithing, because stewardship also involves time and talent, we asked people if they would be willing to put, yes, sorry.
Sorry, I had a question.
Yeah. Yes.
Did the committee go and look at Mark Warner's figures concerning giving over the last several years and validate that this information was reflected in his?
We have not at this point compared it to specifically what he said. That's definitely something moving forward that we could sit down and do. It would also be dependent on having 15 tithing units to look and see how many tithing units we have fully in the church, and then see if maybe the ones that filled it out were the ones that are tithing or not. So it would be interesting to look into that more, for sure.
Because this number does not, in my mind at least, agree with the information that he's provided in the past.
Right. Yes.
We also have no way of knowing based on data, like people can tell them whether they're giving 10% or not. I don't know whether we can really get too detailed into that.
True. Yes.
I'm sorry, when you said you couldn't get into that detail, you mean for the survey?
Even in like a financial report, like it's not like we know what people's incomes are to be able to tell whether they're tithing 10% or not.
No, that's correct, but you could take an average income and compare out and see. Like if you said the average income was $40,000, which I think we all know is probably low, and use that number to see whether people generally give more than $4,000 a year. You can get an idea.
If I may, Mark, not to interrupt you, we will be getting, we will be unpacking that issue more in September when we do a presentation on actual stewardship and tithing, and that will address the issue that you're talking about. So that was not necessarily the purpose of this particular survey. We wanted an idea, but we are going to delve further into that at a later date.
So stewardship also involves time and talent. So we did ask people if they would be willing to offer time and talent toward the project. Overwhelmingly, people were excited and said that yes, they would. There were a few that due to physical reasons said that they would be less able to help, but everybody did seem excited to offer what they could towards the project. So from there, that question 10 that I mentioned way in the beginning, where we asked only people one person per family to complete. So we had 50 people complete this question. That question asked people between June 2025 and June 2026, what additional giving could you give toward this project above and beyond your normal giving? We had different categories for that. So we had $1 to $999, $1,000 to $499, $5,000 to $9,999, and then $10,000 or above. So people were to check off which one that they would feel comfortable, the range that they would feel comfortable completing. So to analyze that data, we took a low range, which would be taking if someone, for example, checked the $1 to the $999, we said, okay, low range is you're willing to give $1 towards the project, so we're going to say that's your low range, and then high range would be $999, and when we combined all of those, we received a low range of everybody saying that they could do $61,000 total, or a high range, if everybody gave towards their high ranges of that, $92,000 rough dollars, estimated additional giving in the next year toward this project. It is worth mentioning that 3 members did check $10,000 plus, but they did not specify an amount, so we put $10,000 for both the low range and the high range for them. Obviously, that number could be significantly higher, we're not sure, but this gives us at least a sort of estimate of where giving would be in the next year. Yes, Mark?
So does that mean for the low range, 61,000, that half of that is made up by 3 people?
Yes. But that also means that all of the people who checked $1 to $999 only gave $1 towards the project additional. So, yes. So where do we go from here? So looking at the information that you gave us, your excitement towards the new church, the amount of stewardship that would be offered, we've developed a pathway to the future building. So this would be that we would start with, in general, paying off the mortgage, which is the goal of that is $750,000. We are paying this down monthly as we go already, but then we could put additional money towards that. So you'll see there's 3 different stepping stones, and we would be filling those in with our goal amounts. So the other thing that would be the center one is land development projects. So in order to start being able to complete these, we need to have a land development plan. So at some point in August, I don't know the date, there will be an annual meeting to discuss actually funding the land development plan. Once that plan is started to be funded, we would then, that takes about a year for that plan, if not more, to be able to actually be completed. And then we would have an idea of what the land development projects would be. So we do not know exactly what those projects would be. We can take a guess. So we put a goal number there of $400,000. We based that off of the previous land development plan for this current building that we're in, and we added a little bit of cushion to it. So hopefully it would come in within that amount, potentially less. If it were to come in less and we had met our goal of $400,000 for that, that money could be shifted then towards the new building fund. The third option, yes?
You said that we are currently paying the mortgage off, just the regular amount, or is the parish council going to add an additional?
The irregular amount, yes. And then there's also the part of funding the new building. We put our goal for $2.5 million there. This is to take into account that a bank loan of roughly that equivalent amount would be needed, and that we feel financially that at this point we would be able to support that. Obviously, depending how long it takes to get to paying off the mortgage and to complete the land development projects, that money, that amount for the new building could change. But we put a goal there of that amount because that would get us to that point from what we understand currently. So this display is now in the hall, so whenever you exit, you will see that that is unveiled. But how do we get here? So we do have stewardship cards, which Angela's passing out, just so you can have one up close to look at. So if you are a person who likes the accountability of a stewardship card, then this side of the card is for you. If you're a person who likes to be able to say, okay, I am saying I'm going to give this one-time donation, perfect. If you're the person who likes to be able to write it down and say, I'm going to give this amount per week, per month, and I'm going to tell the GPS committee that I'm going to do this, then go for it, fill this out. If you're the person who needs to put this on your fridge as a reminder, take it home, put it on your fridge to remind you. However, if you are the person who feels that it's between yourself and God or yourself and your spiritual father, and you don't want to write this down and hand it into GPS, we are completely fine with that. In that case, you're going to go ahead and flip that card over. Because the other side of the stewardship card dives into that time and talents thing. So this is to help you know what events are taking place and help us know what you want to do to help us out with those events. This side of the stewardship card will change as we complete these events and we add new GPS events towards stewardship. So if there's something that you would like to offer, I would definitely encourage you. There's a little box at the bottom that you can check and say that you want to be contacted to talk about something. If you have an idea for a way to fundraise, if you have something you would like to spearhead, please check that off, write your name down, stick it in the stewardship box in the hall, and we would be happy to talk to you and work out how we can make that plan a reality. Yes?
So can I just clarify that then if you do get $92,000 in the next year,
Yes.
does this mean that automatically we've decided that first goes to the mortgage?
At this point, that's what we feel makes sense. The land development projects we cannot actually complete at this point, so it would make sense to work down that one goal, and then from there we can jump to the next goals. If we were to pay off the mortgage, let's say someone gives a donation and that is paid off, at that point we could start putting money towards the land development projects, but we also could jump it over to the building fund if possible. But obviously we won't say no if someone says we have $2 million, we will put just towards that future building. We will not say no. We will say we're happy to color in $2 million of that $2.5 million up that new building fund, and that's kind of why we designed it, that all three are there, because it's not one at a time. It can be in conjunction to them. If the land development plan goes through for some reason super fast in 2 months and we're ready to start those projects, we can jump to that middle section and raise that money so that we can start doing those land development projects and start having the property ready for the new building, if that makes sense.
But if the gift is undesignated, it will go into the account.
Yes, at this point, yes. Yes,
So, back to the other side of the card.
yes.
When this is filled out, I will offer an ongoing donation of $10 per week.
Yes.
Are you asking that people designate that to a building fund or simply increase the amount that they give by $10?
If you fill out the stewardship card, I believe that that is intended then that it would go towards the building fund. So that would be above and beyond your normal tithing.
So we are asking to have a restricted fund solely for the building.
It's,
If you ask for the money for a particular purpose, that's where it needs to go. People just give, and it can go into the general fund if needed.
yes, in this case, yes, it would go towards some type of the projects towards the building fund.
Even if it's the first step.
Yes.
So,
So it could be the mortgage, it could be the land development, it could be the new building fund. Yes, it's directed all to the building fund.
so the treasurer is then going to be keeping a separate account for building fund dollars versus.
It's a separate line item in the account.
I mean,
Yes. All right, so I believe I talked all about this card, so the time and talent card. So we're going to dive into each of those little stewardship things and talk about what those look like. So as I said in the beginning, no one has to do it all, but everybody can do something. So our goal is to find out what everybody has to offer and is willing to offer. So we started by reaching out to the ministry, parish ministry groups and talking to the heads of those groups and seeing what they felt their group could help do towards this project. Our goal in doing this is we wanted to involve everyone, as I keep saying, whether it's through time, talent, or treasure. And we wanted to create events that help our parish be more visible to the local public, but also create events that would help our parish be more visible to the Orthodox social media world. So ultimately, we wanted to follow Matthew 28:19 that says, "Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things that I have commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age." So this is our effort, that we want to go therefore and make disciples of all nations. So in so doing that, one of the ideas that we came up with, and this was spearheaded because of all the Facebook posts of some people posting their beautiful flowers from their gardens and the bouquets that they're creating. So we are in need of Holy Apostles gardeners. If you are a person who has flowers that you are growing at home, if you would be willing to arrange them into a bouquet and bring them in on a Sunday morning, we would put them out at fellowship hour. There will be a table starting tomorrow set up for this. If you bring them in, we also have vases under that table. If you'd like to take a vase home, the vase does come included at this point with your bouquet to take home. So if you have someone who has a birthday coming up or there's a special event and you need flowers, you can check out that fellowship table and purchase your flowers here instead of going to the supermarket to purchase them. This will happen as long as we have people who have beautiful flowers growing in their yard and bringing and able to bring them in. So that's one step that we're planning, and that's for people, again, who have gardens and would like to share. We spoke to, got excited. We spoke to the Orthodox Golden Girls, and they got super excited and offered to host crafting sessions to make Jessie tree ornament sets to sell. I know Matushka every single year has people reach out to her asking about the Jessie tree ornament sets that she keeps sharing pictures of, and so we know that there is a need in the Orthodox community for these. So the Orthodox Golden Girls are going to be crafting those. So if you are a woman and would like to help them craft, if you have supplies that you think might be needed in crafting those, we are looking for anybody to offer those things. If you know someone that has children or who would like a Jesse tree set, look for this during the Nativity Fast in November. Yes? Oh, explain it? Yes. So the Jesse tree ornament sets, they start with the Nativity Fast, and there is an ornament for every single day that goes along with the Bible reading for that day. And do they go through the 12 days of Christmas? They go through the 12 days of Christmas as well. So you're getting a set of ornaments that would take someone the whole way through the Nativity Fast through the 12 days of Christmas. Ornament per day, and then a Bible story that goes along with it. So it's an amazing learning process.
So these are like Advent ornaments?
Yes, but more.
How come Jesse is credit?
I don't know. Do you know why they're called?
From the stem of Jesse.
Okay.
I knew that.
I will say that there's a Path to Pascha one that goes the whole way through Lent, a similar idea. And so they have also sort of committed that they will be doing those in the spring, but more to come. We'll get there when we get there. We spoke to the Living Orthodox Lives LOL youth group, and so they were willing to put in their time and efforts to do a car wash. So there is a car wash on Saturday, August 16th from 1 to 4 p.m. We think we have a prime location for that with all the cars that drive by, but please mark your calendar, tell your friends, and we will be asking for baked goods or snack donations. So be looking for that information. If you are dying to come help, we always could use additional adults. So again, backside of that stewardship card, if you check it, we will make sure that we contact you whenever we need more information for this. We spoke to St. Catherine's Helpers Group. So their plan in August is to craft some artwork that will then be made into blank card sets. So we would need some additional help with getting those card sets ready to be sold. And then please be on the lookout for those to purchase in November. They would make really good Christmas gifts. GPS also sat down with the dinner dance committee, and we were looking for some ways to increase giving for the dinner dance, both within our community but also outside of our community. So one of the things that GPS is doing is we're going to form a business donation team. So if you are a person who would like to help us with this, we would be getting together to list out different local businesses or online businesses that we can look to ask for support or donations toward the annual dinner dance. I'm on this committee or on this team. I do not like soliciting people. I do not like talking to people. So I'm overcoming it. If I can do it, you can do it. So if you're at all interested or feel that you may have some time to help with this, please join. The more of us there are, the less places we have to go and the less people we have to talk to. Another thing that the dinner dance committee that we are adding in this year, there are more, but I'm not telling you about all of them. There are some that are really, really fun this year with the Kentucky Derby theme. Just think horse races. But another one that they're doing is we are adding to the actual event a clear the wall Post-it note donation wall. So the way this works is there will be a wall of Post-it notes with the numbers 1 through 100 on them. And the goal is if you pull that Post-it note off that you are donating that amount of money while you're at that event. So our goal is to clear the entire wall throughout the course of the event. So we are asking if anyone is interested in helping with this portion of the dinner dance. Those who are on the dinner dance committee already have things they're assigned to do, and they are already busy enough that day. So we're looking to add someone else to the committee or multiple people that would be willing to help run this and take care of it. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, it's literally Post-it notes with numbers. It's not hard. You don't have to be creative. Please let us know. So finally, you have an invitation to complete a stewardship card this evening. If you don't want to complete it this evening, take it home, bring it back. They are on the wall. You'll see all of these posters that I just shared are located now in the hall. We will be updating them as new events are added. There'll be a t-shirt one shortly once we have information on how to order the t-shirts. And the stewardship card will be changing periodically as we add new events. But there is a little mailbox out there that is designated for you to be able to slip your stewardship cards in once they are completed. And again, we want all of you to feel that you can participate in this event. Yes?
Does OTG and St. Catherine's have dates set up already?
We do not have dates set up. So anything that there's not a specific date for, we do not have yet, but we will keep you in the loop as soon as we have those so that you can mark your calendars. We'll make sure that's in the bulletin and we'll update as we can with those. So a final announcement that we are in the process of receiving a starting donation towards the building fund, and this donation is in the amount of $50,000. So we are starting off strong with the project. We are asking, well, I'd like to challenge you all, would it be possible that we could double this donation within the month? So take it home, think about it, pray about it. I think that would be an amazing start to the project if we could do that. So, to leave you with a couple final thoughts, these are direct quotes from all of you that completed the survey, and I felt like they needed shared. So they looked for the original church, saw Holy Apostles Orthodox Church, saw the live stream, came and stayed. The family atmosphere, along with the beautiful way liturgy was done, is what kept me. It's a community that offers a depth of orthodoxy in its worship services, its teaching, education, and in the manner of its caring and compassion for its members and guests. Orthodoxy drew me in. Holy Apostles is a welcoming community of people who know each other, share life together, and carry each other's burdens. It's such a great parish to be a part of. So thank you for your support, and I look forward to all that we can do together to grow stewardship in our parish. Any final questions? Perfect. So make sure you check out the lovely wall that we have out there. I know I'm excited to have a campfire and snacks, and hopefully if the rain holds off, we can have some fireworks to celebrate. Any prayer, anything to end, or we're good? Okay.